Okay, so standard form. Standard form looks like this. And these A, B, and C are all numbers, whereas X and Y are your variables, just like usual. So an example of what this could look like could be 2x plus 3y equals 4. And our A would be 2, our B would be 3, and our C would be 4. So this is, it looks like Greek so far. It's not very helpful for us at all. But what we can do with this is we can pull out a lot of useful information about this. We've already talked about slope a little bit, and slope is just your rise over your run. Well, when you have standard form, you can do this thing where you can just pull slope out automatically. It's negative a over b. So if I'm going to put this over here. If we pull slope out of this one that I've written here, then we're going to get negative 2 over 3, and this is going to be our slope. And this is helpful because a lot of the times you're looking for, I need to put a point and then I'm going to use a slope to find everything else. So you can also find X and Y intercepts with this. So let's graph this and then kind of show that. So I'm going to graph it using Symbolab, and then I will paste it in here, and then we can look at what it looks like. And then talk about the intercepts. Okay, so this is the graph of that equation. I just plugged it directly into Symbolab and then copy and pasted the graph. So if we're trying to identify the slope for this, we're just going to verify that the slope's right. So we're going to rise 2. So this is about 1 right here. It's, well, halfway between. If I could make this quit jumping around, that'd be really nice. It's somewhere around right there, about halfway between, 0 and 2. And same thing going this way. So somewhere around right there. So if we go up, according to our slope, if we go up 2 or down 2, because our rise over our run, and if it's positive, we go up, and if it's negative, we go down over our run. So I'm going to go down. I'm just going to say, okay, this point. I'm going to go down 2, so we're going to end up right here. Then I'm going to go over 3. 1, 2, 3. Verified that our slope is actually correct because both of these points should be on the line. Now we need to find our x and our y intercepts. So for our x-intercept, we have this guy right here. It crosses the x-axis right here, which looks to me like 2, 0. Just guessing there. Maybe that'll prove to be right in a minute, but maybe it won't. And then here it looks like maybe 1.5. Thank you. So maybe it looks like something like that. I'm just guessing at these, so let's see if we're close about that. So a way that you can pull out intercepts is, I believe it is A over C and B over C. So if we plug in A over C, we're going to plug in our A. So 2 over 4. And we are going to get 1/2. I apologize. Do it the other way. C over A and C over B. So if we have that, then we can flip this and do 4 over 2, which gives us 2. And 2, that seems familiar. So maybe this is our x-intercept. Our c over a gives us our x-intercept. And so that means c over b must give us our y-intercept. Okay, so if we work this, we're going to do c over b, so it's going to be 4 over 3, which 4 over 3 is 1 1/3. So actually, we were pretty close with 1 1/2, just guessing. So it's 1 1/3. So if that's 1, then that looks to be about 1/3. So we get 1 1/3 out of our y-intercept. So this is all the information that we can pull out of something that's in standard form. And so we've got 2 points and we have a slope. Well, there are a couple different forms that we'll learn throughout the course of probably this week. I haven't looked ahead. But standard form is probably the most useful in terms of it can give you the most information. So if you're looking to identify standard form, if it gives you an equation and it says, okay, find me all this information using standard form. Well, your first question is going to be, is this in standard form? So if we have, the answer for this is no, it's not in standard form. And the reason for that is we have ax plus by equals c. So for standard form, you need your x and your y on the same side of the equation. So for here, we have x over here and y over here. We can't connect them. So what we need to do is get our x and our y to the same side. And once we do that, then it's going to be a lot easier to see if it's in standard form. So for this, I'm just going to move this 2x over. I'm just going to subtract. So now if we write this again, we say 3 equals negative 2x plus y. So if we just say, okay, this is a 1, the 1 is always there. So we're just going to call it a 1. We have, rearranging a little more. So if we look at this, we say, okay, A right there, highlight, A, B, C, and our X and our Y are both on the same side. So we are good to go for it in standard form. So when you hear standard form, what you should think is X and Y on the same side. So if you see something and it says do something in standard form, you should say immediately, let's get X and Y on the same side. So let me look at your homework right quick. And so if we look at something like number 1, we have negative 3x minus 5y equals 30. So it wants us to identify the x-intercept, the y-intercept. I'm just going to do int instead of intercept. And then graph it. Okay, so if we do this, the first thing that we're going to need to look for is our x and our y-intercept. So I'm going to scroll back up here so we can get what we need out of x and y-intercept. These guys. So just some helpful information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my A, B, and C. A, B, C. My A is going to be negative 3. My B is going to be negative 5. You're taking these signs with it. So if it's not a positive sign, it comes with it. So, and C is 30. Okay, So for our x-intercept, we need to do c over a. So 30 over -3, which is going to simplify down and give me -10. So it gives you a form to put that in, and it wants it like this. So all I did was use c over a and plug in, and we got this. So now for the y-intercept, we need c over b. So 30 over -5, which if we plug that into a calculator, we get -6. So the form that it gives you to put that in is 0. So erasing all this, we have our 2 points. So now we need to graph it. So I'm going to erase these guys. And now we are going to graph. Okay, so if this is 0, 0, then we need to put these 2 points on the graph. So we're going to count over 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it doesn't look like we can do that. So we're going to count by 2s instead of just counting by 1s. It'll look the same. It'll just be it'll fit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And now we graph 0, -6. So 0 left and right, now down 6. 2, 4, 6. So now we can connect these guys with a line. And that is our graph. That's what we need. So pretty much all these guys are putting finding your A, B, and your C, and then plugging into to find your X and your Y intercepts. And then graphing using those X and Y intercepts. So let's work another one. Let's work something like number 5. So number 5 is negative X plus Y equals -7. So okay, so now we have our X and our Y on our same side, which is what we need. So now we need to write our A, B, and our C out. So our A is going to be, I'm just going to put these 1s here. So we're going to have a -1 for our A. It's always the number with X. We're going to have a +1 for B and a -7 for C. So now we need our X and our Y intercepts. And we get those with C over A for our X and C over B for our Y. So C over A, -7, -1, which is just going to give us +7. So that goes into the form so now we have our x-intercept. So now if we redo this on the bottom, C over B, -7 over 1, just going to give us -7. So now we plug that in, 0, -7. So now we can graph these guys. So I'm going to count by twos again. So we're going to go over 7, 2, 4, 6. So this would be 8. So it's going to be right here. And then left and right 0, down 7. 2, 4, 6, 8. So right here. Now we put our line. And we have it. So, I mean, this is graphing in standard form. It's pretty easy, just as easy as identifying your x and your y intercepts and putting those points and then connecting them with a line. So do you feel okay about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what we're going to do today is end it early, since I don't want to move on too far without everybody else. But this kind of gives you a heads up and, you know, an idea of where we're going. So we can move on after this on Wednesday, if that's okay.
Mhm.
So you have a good day, and I will see you or talk to you on Wednesday.
Thank you. Have a good day, Mr. Albright. See you Wednesday.
You too. Bye.
Bye.